Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rena. If you're new here, then welcome. Today we are gonna do a get ready with me testing some new Sephora makeup products. I've recently done a haul during the recent Sephora VIB sale. This time I think we're actually almost the same time as the rest of the world here in Australia. Usually we're off like time frames, but I think we're pretty the same this time. Anyway, I did pick up a Fenty Beauty foundation, a Rare Beauty bronzer, a Rare Beauty, not trail, a quad 4-piece mini set with 2 highlighters and 2 bronzers, 2 blush, as well as a Sephora lip set containing 3 different shimmer ones. It's called Outrageous Intensive Lip Plumper Set. I've got everything on my face at the moment, so we're gonna test them out. We're gonna do a wear test as well, see how I feel. These 2 base products, I've used it for a few times now, so I can give a really good sort of feeling towards how I think about the 2. And we're gonna do a proper longevity test today where I don't have to wear a mask, so that it doesn't rub things off. And I'll see you at the end of the day just to tell you the overall thought. But first, let's get into the application part. And if you like today's video or this type of content, don't forget to give me a like and consider subscribe. I have just used my Project Pan primer, which is a Sephora primer at the moment. Then we're gonna go testing out this Fenty Beauty blur+smooth tint stick. I've got in the shade 5. This is a 9-gram product, but it does look a little bit small in my opinion. Like, this is how much you get. Same as all my other like stick foundations, they're the same sort of grams quantity, but it just feels like slightly smaller. It is a good match. I have used it for a few days, so I'm pretty happy the way how it looks. I do really enjoy the Fenty's design for this one. It's kind of translucent in a way, so that is really good. We're just gonna do stripes on my face, and yeah. I don't often do eyes first, but because today we're purely testing out the base product, mostly that's what we're gonna do. I actually quite enjoy using a brush to blend this out. So I've got a IT Cosmetics CC Angle Buffing Foundation brush over here. It is so easy to blend. Everything just goes in seamlessly. I did bump my head yesterday, so I'm gonna try to avoid put much of foundation over there because it hurts a little bit. So this area might look a little slightly different in coloring than the rest of my face, but it'll just have to do. I don't think it has a high coverage. All my spots and everything, they're all showing, but the overall skin tone, it's definitely getting better, and it's a really nice match to my neck. I did found the last couple times when I was wearing it, I had an impression of it oxidized a tiny bit, like half of the shade. I hope that's not going to be the case this time. I'm just going to add a little bit over on this side because I was unable to use the brush. I'm going to use my fingertips just to apply all around here. When you're using a brush, you have to blend it in quickly. It kind of set on your face relatively quick, so if you're someone taking a bit of time, I would suggest use a sponge. I'm just want like a quick on the go, then I reckon brush is the best way, so you can run out very fast. So this is just one single layer. I think it's really good. I worn this for a few days when I go to work, and I like took less time than other liquid foundation, and the look, it's almost, well, it's a foundation. It's the same as a light coverage foundation if I use, and I like a light coverage if I go to work, but I like a higher coverage if on a casual day. I didn't think you have to set it, but my personal experience for longevity, I'm gonna set it. So I'm gonna go off camera to apply my concealer and set my face. Then we come back for some contouring product. Right, I have set my face and I found after setting face, this is more obvious because obviously the rest of the face is more flawless. Mainly just a translucent setting powder. I did set a little bit more with a colored powder under my eyes because I like a little bit more mattified look. We're gonna go through for the contour, and this is the Rare Beauty Power Boost Bronzer Stick. I'm not quite sure if Power Boost is the shade because it doesn't got a shade number to it. This is a 7-gram product and it's pretty decent. I've used it a few times. I have to say it's a very subtle bronzer. If you're someone loving a subtle natural bronzer, then this is your way to go. It kind of reminds me of Korean K Cosmetics. Not exactly, somewhere in between. Like it's a nice mixture. So again, we apply like my normal spot. The shade that I choose is slightly on the warmer side, but it's not too orangey. I kind of prefer if it goes even a little bit more cooler, but this is definitely a shade that I can make it work. I'm gonna use the same brush as I applied foundation and I'm just gonna blend it in. This one I've got recommended by another YouTuber, she's a Chinese YouTuber. She lives in America and then she just like really raved about it. She's got olive skin tone, like so much darker than me, but it looks beautiful on her. I'm like, oh, if we have the same sort of undertone, it probably would make it work. You can just do light like this. It has just the tiniest bit contouring, but I think I can go a little bit more heavier today. I'll go one side at a time. This brush is a little bit bigger than what I like, but I currently don't have, I have to grab it. I'm like, ugh, too lazy for that. Gets a bit tricky when it gets to hairline because this brush is too big. But it's just a very nice diffused tone to it. It's not harsh, it's easy to blend. That is so good. I always wanted to try Rare Beauty, never get a chance, and then I was like, finally this time when Sephora had a sale, I decided to go ahead and purchase this. You could use it kind of contouring the nose a little bit as well. I do prefer much cooler tone to contour my nose, but for the purpose of the video, and I have a slightly more fluffy fan-shaped brush for it because I usually use a powder to contour my nose, like a grayish color powder. Yeah, this is definitely a little bit too warm for contouring of my nose bridge for what I like. But it actually pairs well with my makeup because I'm having like a bronze toned makeup today. I actually applied my eye makeup twice before filming. The first time it was just a huge disaster. I want to go something warm and neutral. End up going so smoky. I'm like, no, I'm not gonna wear this because I'm going out where we're meant to go to Costco today, but no one in the family has waken up yet and it's already past the time that we thought we were gonna go. So it might be just a day chill at home, which is perfectly fine with me. But I would also love to go to Costco if we get the chance. We'll just see. Not fussed about this. So now let's try their blush. I'm super excited. There are 4 minis in here. We've got 2 blush and 2 highlighters. So we're gonna test both of them out, but I'll pick one shade from each. The reason why I pick up the blush is because I recently tested out or purchased the designer brands like look, the similarity. The shade I've got from Rare Beauty seems like right in on the edge of the shade that I've got from designer brands, as in this shade is like a mixture of these two. I feel like this is close to in between. We're gonna more testing about the texture, like how I feel, and then the shade is something else we're gonna look for afterwards. I have a Wisdom, which is slightly pink shade, and then Virtue, slightly more orangey shade. I got a feeling like with everything I've got, I am more leaning towards to, actually I think both would work, but I've wanted to try the Virtue first. The tiny mini one's got 3.2 mils. It's good, it's decent. Doe foot applicator, just like the lip gloss. It is a bit hard to hold on to it because it's a mini size. Oh, it's such a watery texture. That is something different to designer brands straight away. Sorry, I forgot to show you. It's so easy to blend. I like it. It blends out to give you a like, it's got oil content within. It feels like so sheared out, oily, but it's setting. Like, it's starting to set on my thing, on the back of my hand. Ooh, that looks good. I was just gonna try it, see how I go. See, now it's almost set. There's nothing that I pick up from my fingerprint. A little bit, like the tiniest of it. Okay, so I might be able to do, I'm just gonna do a dot, maybe two. I'll see how I go with my fingers. I'm gonna go for a spooling blush. It is pretty. It's almost like got a little bit of sheen to it. I hope that sheen settles down a little bit more. I'm just gonna add a tiny bit over here. Okay, when I say add a tiny bit, I might gone a little bit too much. 2 dot on the other side as well. Alright, so I like use a spooling brush to kind of get the color on, and then using this big fan danced brush to push things in. I think that actually make it more natural. With cream product, I found brushes, or like the tool application, is really important. They just add a nice glow to it. You might want a little bit, like a little bit more intense, and you can just add it on. I am very happy just the way it is, because we're gonna go ahead and with a highlighter, and I've got two luminizer. One is called Transcend, the other one is called magnetize. I'm too old to read these. So one is more pinkish, one is more champagne-y. I want to try how the pink goes, just see if I can add a little bit color, and then maybe we'll go with the champagne as well. I mean, yeah, it doesn't hurt. So this is the Transcend. It is definitely like a rose gold. Yeah, I think it just adds on top. Let's see, I blended with the blush. I think it looks really good. We're gonna do that. So pretty much the same spot where I just applied my blush, I'll dot it over here, and this time I'm just gonna go with this brush straight away. This brush is just too big, but otherwise it's a good brush. Speaking of being lazy, okay, the highlighter I prefer to use fingertips. I haven't used the highlighter. I've used the bronzer and foundation for a few times now, but the blush and highlighter is my first time used today. Yeah. And I am gonna top it up with this one, but just the slightest bit with that champagne shade, which is called Magnetize. I think that's how you say it. Lovely standard champagne shade. I'm gonna use my hand just to dab it on top. Like, I don't even have to look at the mirror. I'm just gonna go this area, and then in the middle for my nose. It does dry down very fast. Like, I have to be quick with this, and it also set fast, and I think I like that. Down the eyes, brows. Let's just go with my lips. I am gonna try to use a lipstick liquid. It's called non-sticky this non-sticky shimmer lip gloss by, I don't know the brand, I think it's called UnLeash. I can't. This is a Korean brand in the Savannah advent calendar. It looks so much prettier than the shade. It's like a berry, but it's actually not. Super easy, super comfortable to be applied on the lips. I do think the shade is slightly darker than everything else I've got, but I'll do because I'm gonna apply another lip on top. Although this is already a shimmer gloss, I purchased this Sephora Trail. This is their outrageous intense lip plumper set. I did not realize this says plumper because I also recently purchased the same line, the regular one, and I love them. So I got the plumper and now I tried them once. They're very plumpy, like a bit stingy. I can only use the very lightest shade. I'm thinking topping on the red one on top of it, so hopefully lightens up the shade a little bit. I will just be applying the lightest amount on here, otherwise it stings too much. It does make the shade not necessarily lighter, but it shimmers a little bit, so it looks less dark. Yeah, but that's all. That's everything I've got from the Sephora haul VIB sale recently here in Australia. At the moment, except this is actually a plumping set, I like everything else. I need to see the longevity. I've already had an idea of the foundation and the bronzer, but let's test out this blush and, oh, it's stingy now. Blush and highlighter, which I applied quite light-handed, so we can really see if it lasts all day. We are currently, let me see, what time is it? 10:12, so sometime past 10 o'clock. I'll see if I can report you back later in the evening so we can have a long day just to see how's everything. So this is what it looks like so far. I really like how it's so quick and easy to work on the face. Hi guys, welcome back. We are just past the 7 o'clock in the evening, which means this has been on for 9 hours, nearly 9 hours, so 8.5. Let me bring myself a bit closer and we can have a look of how's everything looking together. So I didn't do any touch up with this makeup. I did reapply my lips because that's worn off. I did clean under my eyes because the mascara, I think the eyeliner is smudging a little bit, but everything else I didn't touch it. I kind of use my hand to push things in a little bit halfway through the day. Today's weather is 20 something degrees Celsius and it's pretty sunny. We walked a little bit, we're indoor a little bit, so it's not a super sweaty day. It's kind of those spring, nice summer day, not too hot, not too windy, so it's a good day to test. What I've noticed, I don't think it shows that obvious in front of the camera because there is lights going through, but in real life this is definitely like my true shade, and I think it oxidized just a little bit, a tiniest bit, which I don't think it bothers me at all, but it's something that I noticed. And that's been the case when I first using it before, just a little bit of oxidized. So if you find hard to pick a shade, choose the slightly lighter one. This will be my suggestion. Again, it's still a light coverage, but it just makes the skin looks really beautiful. Nothing has been worn off, but I think around my nose, the pores are getting more and more obvious as it's reaching to this 7 hours mark. Through the half of the first half day, I think it's doing pretty good, but now it's getting to the point I would like to use not just a translucent powder, a powder with a bit of coverage to reapply the area if possible. If I'm not testing, I would. Everything else stays on really well. Like I can still see this blush and bronzer and the highlighter, and I wasn't applying that much, so I'm really impressed with that. And next time I want to go even just a little bit heavy with the bronzer, so I think I can have a more left by this time. Now it's very subtle, but it's still there. Even around my nose, like I can see my nose looks a bit more taller than before because I contoured it, and I think that's really good. Ignore this accidental area that I'm keeping it clean. And with the lips, it is stinging for the first hour or two, and then it went away and it still looked really beautiful. I did try a different lip color today and then paired with a different shade. I think in the morning I was using this one. I just used the clear one now because I'm using a red lipstick underneath. It's the same thing. I think if it lasts just for an hour, with this level of intensity, like I don't apply too much, I can bear with it, I can make it work. I wouldn't recommend if you don't like sting, but if you used to this, I don't think it's really bad. It's actually quite good, and I do feel like my lips looks slightly fuller, especially the outer lips looks fuller. So overall, with everything that I test, I think it's a win-win situation. There isn't one single thing that I did not like. Even with this K-Beauty lip gloss, it was really beautiful. I love everything that I purchased from Sephora, and I cannot wait to pair the designer brand blush with Rare Beauty because I can already see some similarities and some differences, but I want to go test it side by side just to feel exactly how it compares. So stay tuned for that because that video will be, well, I haven't filmed, but I'll be getting in process in a queue. And that's pretty much everything for today's video. I hope you guys really enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give me a like and consider subscribe down below. There will be more videos of testing makeup coming up in the year of 2024. I really has been setting goals, and I have a big box here of everything I've tested out in the last 3 months each, which I think early 2024 sometimes I'm gonna give a full-on final speedy review of all these because I've got a few face product, few lips, few primers, concealers that I all can share and compare of all the recent testings. It's not just like one each individual video, but it's a whole bunch of comparing as well. I just always found these a bit more useful if you are having a few in mind, and then you can just see which one is the best. Anyway, if you like this type of content, don't forget to consider subscribe to my channel. There will always be giveaways running as well. I am planning for a 1500 subscribers giveaway, which I'm not in a rush. Like, if it takes time, takes time. But I thought just to let you know if that promotes you to join the YouTube channel of mine, that would be really appreciated. I hope you all stay safe, stay positive, enjoy some great time with friends and families, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!